Dear Esther, the morning after I felt as though everything had conspired to this one last shipwreck. I remembered none of the most listless of creatures swim.
I know I haven't been talking a lot, but no, I didn't really think that I needed to be talking at the beginning. I actually didn't think we'd be talking any of this. So welcome to this game I found that was on sale. It looked good from screenshots and what I read in the description.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
Okay. Oh, I thought, okay, no, I'm not sure if this is a horror game now. This is just by all the music. Let's continue to go along the cliff. I can... Nope. I'm guessing... What's that? It's a plate. Well, I guess I'll just go along this. There's a trail back there that I can go back up. A lot of that stuff. Cages. Oh, I think you can get up here. I think this game came out in 2016, but it looks pretty good.
When you were born, your mother told me, a hush fell over the delivery room. A great red birthmark covered the left side of your face. No one knew what to say, so you cried to fill the vacuum. I always admired you for that you cried to fill whatever vacuum you found. I began to manufacture vacuums just to enable you to deploy your talent. The birthmark faded by the time you were 6 and had gone completely by the time we met, but your fascination with the empty and its cure remained.
Okay. Sorrow, guilt, regret, joys. Basically, it's Dear Ester, it's the name of the game. I couldn't pronounce it until now, because I didn't know if it was pronounced a different way, and I didn't want to embarrass myself by saying it wrong. But yeah, Dear Ester. And basically it's about Esther, I believe, or the narrator. I'm very... like, it's a good story so far, I like it, I'm interested, but... yeah. Nothing
Donnelly's
else.
book had not been taken out from the library since 1974. I decided it would never be missed as I slipped it under my coat and avoided the librarian's gaze on the way out. If the subject matter is obscure, the writer's literary style is even more so. It is not the text of a stable or trustworthy reporter. Perhaps it is fitting that my only companion in these last days should be a stolen book written by a dying man.
That's a nice thought. You know, from just the cover, like the art style, I thought this was gonna be like somewhere in.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Okay, I'm extremely confused now. Ooh. Wait, well, I think I chose the right path, but there might have been something hidden back at the beach, down that other path. And then of course there's the cave. I might have to go back for that too, if it lets me. One or two. Two. Well, I guess I'll walk in between them for now. Okay, that's weird.
I quote directly, "A motley lot with little to recommend them. I have now spent 3 days in their company. That is, I fear, enough for any man not born amongst them. Despite their tedious inclination to quote scripture, they seem to me the most God-forsaken of all the inhabitants of the Outer Isles. Indeed, in this case, the very gravity of that term, forsaken by God, seems to find its very apex. It appears to me that Donnelly, too, found those who wander this shoreline to be adrift from any chance of redemption. Did he include himself in that, I wonder?
Okay. So it appears the text just randomly happens when something interesting is in the area. I didn't see anything interesting beside the rocks. I wonder where that cave is. It should be somewhere along here.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. Tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Whoa, what the? Go in the water? Whoa, what the? Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but right now, when I go into the water, like the deep parts, it turns all black. Okay, it just spasms, I don't know. Here, let me restart the thing.